Hey, I got your negotiations right here. Scarface is a movie that takes place in Miami in the early 1980s. The story is about the rise and fall of Tony Montana, a Cuban criminal refugee aspiring to make it in America. While the story is almost Shakespearean in its telling and has some incongruities, my interest in the story is in the negotiations between Alejandro Sosa and Tony Montana. On behalf of Lopez, a major Miami drug lord, the want-to-be drug dealer Tony Montana, we'll call him Tony, travels with Suarez, Lopez's right-hand man, to meet with Alejandro Sosa in Cochabamba, Bolivia. Sosa is a cocaine producer. In Scarface, hey, I got your negotiations right here. There are several negotiation scenes. As we will discuss, Sosa manipulates Tony, adroitly manages the negotiations with Tony, and Sosa gets everything he wants, up until the very end. What do we know about Cochabamba? In 2012, Cochabamba was the fourth largest city in Bolivia, with an approximate population of 1 million people in the area. Cochabamba sits at an elevation of about 8,300 feet in a valley in the Andes Mountains and is known to be fairly temperate. It is also, in terms of its economy, one of the main hubs for cocaine dealers in South America. In June 2012, the Colombian newspaper El Tiempo gained access to intelligence reports that showed the cocaine cartels were the economic force behind condominiums and real estate developments, as well as industries such as meat processing. Citation, Wikipedia. Arica, Chile is a port on the Pacific coast. The drive from Cochabamba to Arica is approximately 437 miles, encompassing about 11 hours straight drive time. Currently, the port in Arica serves as a free port for Bolivia and manages a substantial part of Bolivia's trade. Arica is probably the port that the locals and Sosa would have used to export the merchandise. Drugs entering the U.S. are naturally going to arrive through major U.S. ports like Miami, Houston, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Seattle. Interestingly enough, Cochabamba's U.S. sister cities are Miami and San Francisco. Okay, so we know a little bit about the players and the general landscape. Let's talk briefly about good negotiation skills. If you're part of the Lopez group from Miami, what else would you want to do to prepare for these negotiations? In our pre-negotiation preparation, we know the producer is in Bolivia. We know we want to get the product to Miami. We know what we can sell and at what price. We know our local competition. So after the analysis of our business, what decisions do we need to make? First, we need to know exactly what we want. Secondly, we need to know exactly what we can give away. Then follow the plan. Make sure that everyone on your side knows the plan and their role in the negotiations. Then, after each negotiation and discussion, debrief and review the earlier negotiations. Ask your team such things as, what was said? Who made which points? What items seemed to be important? What items were important or were really covers for something else more important? What are your weaknesses? Did the other side see them, and can you fix them? Every negotiation involves complex communication. Get into the details and ask yourselves the really tough questions. At about minute 59 in the movie, Tony, Suarez, and Sosa first meet in Cochabamba, Bolivia at Sosa's factory. Sosa wants to sell what he can produce, which is too big for Lopez, Tony's boss. Sosa says he can produce 200 kilos per month, but wants a commitment for 150 kilos per month with shared risk. Suarez is only interested in a one-time deal of 200. In standard negotiations, this is a disconnect. If this is our delivery truck, Sosa wants to sell all of it. Suarez, however, only wants to buy 200 kilos. In the factory, in what I believe is one of Sosa's manipulations, Tony mentions that Lopez couldn't make it because of Lopez's upcoming trial. Sosa said, "Oh, it would have been nice if he could have come." But Sosa would have undoubtedly known about Lopez's trial and the dates and counted on Lopez not being there. Point Sosa. Add to this that the negotiations are on Sosa's turf. Sosa didn't go to Miami. Sosa controls the when, the where, and the how of all of the discussions and made Suarez and Tony travel all the way to Bolivia. This sometimes psychologically creates the impulse to buy because of the thought, we shouldn't go home empty-handed after traveling all this way and spending all of this money. Point Sosa. The negotiation discussions themselves are fraught with mistakes by Tony. At lunch, Sosa offers 7K a kilo, FOB Bolivia, meaning you can pick up the product at my factory in Cochabamba. Suarez notes that at those numbers, they're cutting out the Colombians and adding associated risks. Tony, stepping out of place, offers to split the risk. Sosa delivers to Panama and Lopez takes it from there. Sosa says Panama delivery price is 13.5 per kilo. Tony says he's nuts. When Sosa goes to the phone, it is obvious that the Lopez team has not prepared and has not gone through pre-negotiation planning. We see Suarez and Tony arguing about the deal, with Suarez noting they're only here to do this one deal. They aren't acting as a team, and either they failed to prepare or Tony failed to do what he was told. Point Sosa. When Sosa returns, Tony continues to step out of line, and Suarez continues to try and rein him in. They continue to argue in front of Sosa, and Suarez tries to control the negotiations, stating that Suarez only has the authority to buy 200 kilos total. But obviously, that's not what Sosa wants. After lunch, Sosa continues to control the deal. He splits Tony and Suarez up, pushing the deal by having Suarez fly to Miami to talk with Lopez and come back. That trip is 5 hours each way. Like the going home empty-handed psychology, Sosa creates the illusion that the deal needs to get done now, and Tony falls for this ploy. Point Sosa. Sosa then also sends Tony a message about how important Sosa really is by killing Suarez. This is also part of Sosa working to split Tony from Lopez, saying Lopez has incompetence and snitches working for him, and saying that Lopez has bad judgment and wonders what other mistakes Lopez has made. As a side note, don't kill your customers. It's wrong, it's immoral, it's illegal, it's just bad for business. All of this is done when Sosa is a seller without a buyer. In most situations, a seller would be doing everything possible to get a sale, but Sosa manipulates the entire negotiation and wins on every point. Point Sosa. So what does Tony do? Tony makes a deal for $18 million at 10.5K a kilo. Precisely the deal Sosa presented. Tony believes that he can make $75 million on this deal. We don't see these negotiations, but Sosa obviously manipulates Tony, like we have seen, convincing Tony to do these deals and playing on Tony's desires to be somebody. Sosa also manipulates Tony by playing the "you and I are the same" card, with Sosa saying they should help out another struggling businessman. Sosa's strategy is obviously to keep Tony from knowing how big a player Sosa really is. Historically, it is believed that Sosa is based on a real-life drug lord from Bolivia. If Tony knew that Sosa controlled the Colombians and the Bolivian government, Tony may have been too intimidated to do any deal. But the clues were there for Tony. If Sosa was a small-time player trying to break into the market and take sales away from the Colombians, 1. Sosa's terms would have been more generous. 2, Sosa wouldn't have the capability to produce and ship 200 kilos per month. And 3, if 200 kilos was Sosa's total production, Sosa would not risk selling all of it to just one customer. The subtleties of negotiations result in an analysis and review that has actually taken longer than the scenes in the movie. And while we did not see all of the discussions, the results are clear and there are many things that the Lopez group failed to do. Sosa, however, was on his game with an obvious strategy. But in the long run, Sosa should have known or anticipated Tony's capabilities. Tony refuses to do the hit on the family that will testify against Sosa. Again, Tony refuses to follow orders. The very reason Sosa knew he could manipulate Tony results in both of their downfalls. Sosa kills Tony, the government gets Sosa. It is a classic risk. A leader chooses a traitor to help, but the person is a traitor and will probably betray the leader. If a leader takes advantage of someone who disobeys orders, expect that they will disobey orders. Negotiations involve very detailed and precise planning, communication, and insights into human behavior.
He's a regular Ford Coppola. Who you calling a car?
In standard negotiations, this is a disconnect. I forgot to bring my truck.